Hi everybody and welcome to my presentation today. My name is Thompson. I will be discussing today how to become a certified ASL interpreter. This is for public speaking at Siena Heights University with Dr. Mary Raymond. A bit of my background and my credentials that allow me to speak on this subject today. I have studied ASL for 6 years ever since I started college back in 2018. I have my associate's degree in sign language interpreting from Lansing Community College. I attended Gallaudet University for 1 school year, which is a deaf school located in Washington, D.C., and I am currently attending Siena Heights University for my bachelor's degree in ASL interpreting with a minor in professional communications. Getting started. So you're possibly interested in becoming an ASL interpreter. You may have been exposed to ASL in the past by family or friends who know ASL, or maybe a deaf family member or a deaf friend that exposed you to it. One thing that you can do is possibly taking some beginner ASL classes. That could have been back in elementary school, or some high schools offer ASL classes as well, or you're like me and you didn't start learning ASL until you started college. And another great opportunity is Deaf and Hard of Hearing Services located in Grand Rapids, Michigan. They offer a lot of ASL classes for beginners that you can take online with a deaf professor. Right. For the sake of the presentation, we're going to be focusing mostly on Michigan and Michigan certifications and Michigan schools as well. So, applying for some colleges. There are some colleges located in Michigan as well as out of state that offer ASL interpreting programs. There's Lansing Community College located in Lansing, Michigan, where I went and graduated from with my associate's degree in ASL interpreting. There's Siena Heights University located in Adrian, Michigan that has an online program that offers a bachelor's degree in ASL interpreting. There's Gallaudet University, located in Washington, D.C., that offers either a bachelor's and or a master's degree in ASL interpreting. And Gallaudet University is a deaf university, and that is a great way to go and expose yourself to deaf community and more deaf community members and learn about the culture. There's also Rochester School for the Deaf, which is a deaf university located in Rochester, New York, and they offer a bachelor's or a master's degree and or a master's degree in ASL interpreting. Once you've been accepted into a university, you will most likely be going through an interpreter training program, which is abbreviated to an ITP. Most universities do a screening, which is basically a test of admission, which means you will be doing receptive and expressive practice to display that you know ASL well enough to begin an interpreter training program. Most programs are 2 to 4 years depending on the school. LCC is 2 years because it's an associate's degree, and other schools such as Gallaudet University is going to be a 4-year program unless you are a transfer like I was. Once you're in the program as well, you're going to be doing practicum hours mostly, as well as attending your classes. Practicum hours are hours that you collect outside of the classroom. You're going to be doing things such as observation, which means you're going to be going out into the community and watching certified ASL interpreters and doing things like taking notes and asking questions to the certified interpreter. Another one is going to be hands-on practice, which is also going out into the community and doing hands-on interpreting, which is receptive or expressive, and you are under the watch and guidance of certified ASL interpreters as well with that. And your college should be able to give you these practicum hours and give them as opportunities, as bids that you bid on to be able to go out and collect those hours. And then most ITP programs also do mentoring, and that can be mentoring like you are the mentor and you have a mentee, and that just means that you're going to be guiding them, mentoring them, helping them practice, helping them study, and then as well you yourself will have a mentor who is also in the ITP and is able to help you study and practice as well. Post-college. So now that you've graduated with either an associate's or a bachelor's degree, what next? You're going to want to decide what certifications you wish to pursue first. We're going to talk about certifications in the next slide. I highly recommend that you do an internship. For me, I did an internship at Hurley Hospital in Flint, Michigan, where I was able to attend interpreting sessions with certified ASL interpreters and also see what they do on a daily basis besides just interpreting. I was able to observe as well as get hands-on live interpreting at a hospital and have that experience. Another thing that's very important is volunteering within the community and attending deaf community events. The deaf community is quite small, and it is very important to get your face out there and get your name out there. The more people you meet in the deaf community, the better, and the more interpreters you meet, the better as well. Okay. Now we're going to get into certifications. Every state has different certifications and qualifications that they require. For this one, this is Michigan's certifications and what they require. Michigan is one of the highest levels of what you need to become an interpreter, which is actually a good thing, to make sure that we have qualified interpreters going into the field and working with people. The first thing you're going to want to do is take a test of English proficiency, which is abbreviated to a TEP, and this just means you're going into the state of Michigan and licensing bureau and taking a written English test that has 5 different components, such as synonyms, antonyms, and reading comprehension. This just means that you are displaying that you can pass a written English test so that you can display that you know English first. That is your first language, and that you are qualified and ready to interpret ASL. After you've passed your TEP, you can take the Board of Evaluations for Interpreters test. There's 3 different levels to that. The first one's going to be a BEI-1 basic. Second one is a BEI-2, which is an advanced, and then a BEI-3 is a master. And for all of those BEIs, you cannot take the next one until you passed the one before that. So I can't take a 2 unless I pass a 1 first. And the different certifications give kind of a broad umbrella of what you can and cannot interpret. An example of a basic would be like doing some sort of meeting that's like low risk, and then a master would be something that's a little more harder to do, such as law interpreting. The next one is going to be a National Interpreter Certification, which is abbreviated to an NIC. This one is so that you can interpret in any state, which means that you are nationally certified. You can interpret wherever. The next one is going to be the Educational Interpreter Performance Assessment, which is abbreviated to an EIPA, which means that you can interpret in educational settings such as college or elementary. On top of certifications, you can also get endorsements. So, for example, medical mental health requires an endorsement from the state of Michigan, as well as the actual certification to work. And another one is going to be deafblind. Deafblind doesn't require a specific certification, but it does require an endorsement from the state of Michigan. And that is because deafblind interpreting is different than regular interpreting. Deafblind interpreting does protactile, which means that you are, in general, you're going to be touching the person and doing different hand movements because the deafblind person can't see you. So protactile just means you're touching them while you're interpreting, and you're holding hands and having them follow you. Okay. After we have our certifications, or whatever one that we've decided to choose, we're going to want to choose a field. You're going to want something that you're interested in. If you prefer working with children, then maybe education is better for you. And then if you were maybe interested in doing some medical stuff in the past, medical mental health would be a great thing for you to do. The first one is going to be education, which means that you can interpret in elementary, secondary, or college settings. And what that might look like is being able to go to a school, a hearing school, and you are following around a deaf individual and interpreting their day for them, basically. Next one is going to be medical mental health, which is hospitals or therapy. And for hospitals, like Hurley Hospital, located in Flint, Michigan, where I did my internship, there's residential interpreters that stay there all the time, and they are able to do different consultations and intake and stuff like that. And then therapy, that one's going to be such as physical therapy, possibly at a hospital, or mental health therapy. And again, those ones require an endorsement. Next is going to be legal, which requires a BEI 3 at least, and you're going to be doing stuff in courtrooms or hearings and stuff like that. Next one is going to be video relay services, which is abbreviated to a VRI, which you can do remote work doing VRI, which a lot of people find appealing in this field. Some of the main companies that do VRI are going to be Sorensen and Purple. And what video relay service is, it is basically a three-way phone call between a hearing person, a deaf person, and an interpreter. So for example, if a deaf person needed to call their doctor's office to make an appointment, they would use something like a video relay service to call that doctor's office. And it would have an image of the deaf person and an image of the interpreter, so that they are able to facilitate that language and that conversation between the hearing person and the deaf person as well. Okay. Last but not least, enjoying your career. So you have gone to college, you have gotten your certifications, and you've chosen which career that you have a preference to. One of the things that I hear the most is that people kind of overwork themselves in the first year. Interpreting is a very mentally exhausting career, and if you don't have that mental stamina built up, then you are going to fry yourself, basically. So don't overwork yourself in the first year. Take it easy, and you'll build up that mental stamina to be able to interpret longer and be able to work full-time eventually. Another key thing is to connect with other ASL interpreters. Again, this career is quite mentally taxing, and sometimes we just need support, and we need someone that's going to understand us. And so if you're making other friends that you can feel safe to text or call and talk about your day with without breaking HIPAA laws, that person can be your support system that you are able to call and talk to and get stuff off your chest. Aim high and don't limit yourself. If you get one certification, start looking at practicing to go and take another certification. The more certifications you have, the more work you can do, and the more different things you can try and see what you like. You could get certified as a educational interpreter and then possibly work your way up to law interpreting, and you can do a little bit of mix of everything. And then also have fun. This is a great career. The deaf community is so warm and welcoming, and it's small, so you get to know a lot of people really well, and you just have fun with your career. Okay. And here are my references. Thank you everybody for tuning in and listening to my speech today. I hope you learned something, and I hope this will maybe pique your interest on pursuing a career